Good evening. So let's start the discussion. New rules for the police officer under the Bharatiya Nagarika Suraksha Samhita (VNSS), which replace the Criminal Procedure Code (CRPC). The article explains new criminal law effective from 1st July. Details rules for FIR registration, mandatory videography during the searches, and the provision for arrest, timeline of investigation, and the responsibility of the police officers under the VNSS Bharatiya Nagarika Suraksha Samhita. It replaces the CRPC. Zero FIR registration. Police officer must register the FIR regardless of the jurisdiction of the police station. Issue under Section 173 of the VNSS. This ensures that no complaint is turned away due to territorial concern. If the incident occurred outside the jurisdiction, they are required to transfer the FIR to the appropriate police station. So, FIR can be registered at any place without jurisdiction and it will be transferred to the area of jurisdiction. Electronic submission. FIR can now be filed electronically through platforms like the CCTNS, Crime and Criminal Tracking Network System, portal, police websites, and official email address. This must be signed by the complaint within 3 days to be officially recorded. Mandatory videography. Section 185, 176, 105 and the VNSS mandate videography of searches, crime scene and seizure. This is to preserve evidence integrity and support transparent proceedings. Officers are equipped with electronic device for this purpose using app like the e-Sakhya, which tags the time stamps, image and video. Display of arrested information. Information about arrested individual must be displayed at police stations as per section 37 of this BNSS. This includes names, address and details of the alleged offences, enacting transparency. Restriction on arrest. Under section 35(7), elderly or infirm individuals cannot be arrested for offences punishable by less than 3 years without permission from an officer or of deputy superintendent rank or higher. So it is restrictions. So cannot be arrested unless the permission is given by a deputy superintendent rank officer. Then timeline and reporting. The medical report in a rape case must be submitted within 7 days. The POCSO case, Prevention of Children from Sexual Offence Act, case investigation must finish in 2 months. Police must update the information or victim about investigation progress within 90 days. Special provision for electronic evidence. There is a focus on maintaining a chain of custody for electronic evidence to prevent tampering, emphasizing the role of cyber expert in safeguarding digital data. Defining a terrorist act. A new rule under section 113 defines terrorist act and assigns the duty to officers of SP rank or higher to decide on registering such cases, case of terrorism. Okay, so higher to decide on registering such cases, considering several factors like the severity of the threat and the level of investigation needed. So next topic is about the HPV, human papillomavirus. The article discusses the promotion, timing and high cost of the India's HPV vaccine Sarvavac for cervical cancer, cancer of the cervix. It questions the need for universal vaccination against HPV, highlighting the delay in development due to patent issue, and criticizes the high price despite potential for the lower cost because it was developed by the Indian Okay, so this is developed by the Serum Institute of India and the patent issues emerged. What is the SPV? The SPV vaccine is designed to prevent cervical cancer by targeting the human papillomavirus. Only few out of the 200 HPV strains are linked to cervical cancer, especially causing precancerous lesions. Despite the vaccine's aim, most individuals with HPV do not develop cancer. Infection is common, but progression to cancer is rare. India's Serum Institute developed Sarvavac, the indigenous HPV vaccine, using recombinant DNA technology similar to early vaccines like the HPV B vaccine, hepatitis B vaccine. The vaccine targets pre-puberty girls based on the assumption that preventing HPV transmission at a young age will reduce cancer rates in their life. Because as per the report, so in every 8 minutes, one lady in India died out of the cervical cancer. Okay, so The US, the patent have shifted vaccine development from public to private sector, changing the landscape of innovation. The US Patent Act amends in 1980 allow for patenting or genetically modified organism and life processes, facilitating private monopolization of vaccine development. The TRIPS agreement globalized US patent law, impacting vaccine production and distribution worldwide. This resulted in delayed availability of vaccine like the India Sarvavac, which has to wait for key HPV vaccine patent to expire before development could begin in India. Patented vaccines such as the Gardasil and the Savarix were developed under the new conditions, setting precedents in vaccine commercialization. What impact has this had on India's vaccine industry? India's 170 Patent Act fostered the growth of this domestic vaccine industry by allowing only processes patent, not product patents. This enabled rapid development and production of generic drugs and vaccines, positioning India as a global pharmacy. The introduction of product patent under TRIPS slowed down the development of new vaccines like Cervavax, which could take 2 decades after similar vaccines were available globally. Despite infrastructure capable of producing at scale, so that Cervavax market pricing remains high, raising concern about the application of the patent law and their impact on affordability and accessibility in India's vaccine market. What is the controversy around the HPV vaccine in India? Association with cancer. The link between HPV and cervical cancer is controversial. While certain strains of the HPV are associated with the precancerous lesion, most HPV carriers do not develop cervical cancer. Moral and cultural concern. The push to vaccine pre-puberty girls based on assumptions about their future sexual behavior is seen as problematic. This perspective is viewed as imposing Western value and may be considered a moral issue with the conservative fabric of Indian society. In gender bias, the focus on vaccinating girls and not boys highlights a gender bias, overlooking the fact that men can also be carrier of the HPV that virus. Cost issue. The high cost of the HPV vaccine poses a significant barrier. The government price at 500 for 2 doses, but for those not covered by the government programs, recommended Cervavax for the girls aged 9 to 26. The retail price escalated to 1000, making it unaffordable for many because government at 500, but in private it is 2000. Then next is the topic, the new labeling regulations for packaged foods. This article discusses the recent amendment to food labeling regulations by the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India (FASI). The amendment intends to improve consumer awareness and public health. India's urban growth is boosting consumption of packaged foods, especially among children. By 2030, India could have over 27 million obese children, making up 10% of the global total, as per the UNICEF's World Obesity Atlas 2022. The FASI approved changes to the Food Safety and Standards Labeling and Display Regulation 2020. Packaged foods will now show salt, total sugar, and saturated fat details in a bold and large font. Previously, this information was in small font, which could have been easily overlooked by consumers. But the significance of the new regulations: empowerment. It will empower the consumer to make informed decisions, enhancing public health. The proposed changes to food regulations will enhance public health, combating non-communicable diseases. Export-based employment. The portion of processed food in total agricultural export almost doubled from 2014-15 to 2022-23, reaching around 26%. Adopting global food regulations will create more opportunity for growth and export-based employment. What are the challenges in food safety regulation in India? Simply showing nutritional information is big front is not enough. If consumers do not understand the importance of the health risk it signals. Harmful substances in popular Indian spicy brands and extra sugar in baby food were detected through testing done abroad by foreign NGO, not by the Indian FASI. What should be the way forward? Raising public awareness about the recommended dietary allowances and their connection to saturated fat, sodium and sugar is essential. Public health department at both the central and state levels should conduct awareness campaign to educate the public. There is a need to encourage better food choices that can alleviate strain on healthcare system. The food regulator must set clear standards and ensure all food companies follow them to keep consumers safe and maintain trust. Then India's urgent need for good quality job. Next topic. The article discusses India's urgent need for good quality jobs. It highlights joblessness as a key issue despite economic growth. The article suggests various policies including vocational training, wage subsidy, technical assistance for enterprises, and basic income supplement for the poor. So why joblessness a critical issue in India? Persistent problem across decades. Joblessness has been a consistent issue in India, not adequately addressed by successive government, indicating its deep-rooted nature in economy. Election concern. Recent election highlights joblessness as a critical issue affecting voter decisions and showing public dissatisfaction with existing job policies. Economic growth disparity. Despite economic growth, employment has not taken place kept pace with economic development. National survey over 50 years confirmed that job creation lagged behind economic expansion, highlighting the failure to convert economic gains to employment opportunity. Social stability risk. If unaddressed, the growing joblessness is potentially socially explosive, demanding immediate and focused policy intervention. What are the issue with previous employment policy? Delayed payment and shortcomings. There are notable delay in wage payment. Additionally, despite the law stipulating 100 days of work for the household, many receive much less, undermining the effectiveness of the scheme, like the MNREGA, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Condition of manual labor. So the job provided are manual and performed in harsh conditions such as under a scorching sun, making them less appealing and barely sustainable for the workers. Unmet legal guarantee. Workers rarely receive unemployment benefits when a job is not provided within 15 days. A failure to comply with these provisions of the scheme so discourage the people to search for this particular job under the scheme. How can a sustainable job be created in India? So okay, vocational education and training. Launch mass scale vocational program with business apprenticeship to improve employability, learning from models like the Germany's vocational system and the California community college system. Adjusting subsidy. Evaluate existing capital subsidy that currently encourage labor placing capital intensive investment. Replace some of the subsidy with a wage subsidy that encourage firms to create regular jobs. Support from non-farm enterprises. Extend technical assistance and management training to non-farm household enterprises. Drawing lesson from the software aid provided by to ASA workers in Uttar Pradesh. Addressing demand efficiency. Address income inequality to boost consumer demand by raising income of lower income economic section through a basic income supplement, enabling them to participate more in the economy and potentially seek better jobs. Tax reforms. Fund the initiative by reducing subsidy for the affluent and increase taxation on the wealthy, including inheritance and wealth taxes. The next is Center to revise classical language status criteria. Union government plans to revise the criteria for granting classical language status. Current criteria: antiquity, the language must have already text or record history spanning over 1500 to 2000 years old. Literary heritage, the language should have a body of ancient literature or text considered valuable heritage by generation of speakers. Original literary tradition, the literary tradition should be original and not borrowed from another speech community. Distinctiveness, the classical language and its literature should be distinct from the modern form, and there may be a discontinuity between the classical language and its latter form of offshoots. Languages with classical status: Tamil declared in 2004, Sanskrit declared in 2005, Kannada declared in 2008, Telugu declared in 2008, Malayalam declared in 2013, and Odia, the last one to join in 2014. Classical language. Award to major annual international awards for scholars of eminence in classical Indian languages given. Center of Excellence, establishment Center of Excellence for studies in classical languages. Academic support, the University Grant Commission is requested to create a certain number of professional chairs for the classical languages, at least in the central universities. This is the advantage of a language getting the classical language status. Then discovery of world's oldest cave painting. Recently, researchers have found the cave painting in Indonesia, which is the world's oldest known evidence of storytelling in art. The world's oldest known cave painting has been discovered in the limestone cave of the Lenga Kampung, located in the Maros Pangkep region in the Sulawesi, Indonesia. This artwork depicts three human-like figures interacting with a wild pig. The painting features a pig measuring 13 to 92 cm by 38 cm, painted in a single shade of dark red pigment. There are other images of pigs present in the cave. The painting was created at least 51,200 years ago, as per the discovery and the scientific research on that. Researchers determined this age using a new scientific approach that involves using a laser to detect calcium carbonate crystal that form naturally on top of the painting. The researcher interpreted this artwork as a narrative scene, making it the oldest known evidence of storytelling in art because an event has been declared in the form of painting. These paintings provide the oldest evidence of storytelling, a fundamental aspect of human culture and identity. The depiction of a pig species that still inhabits that Sulawesi links past and present wildlife on the island, highlighting the continuity of the natural environment over tens of thousands of years because this was 51,000 years ago. Then Anand Marriage Act. Recently, National Commission of Minority conducted a video conference meeting chaired by the chairman of the commission with representatives of the 18 states and union territory. The purpose of the meeting was to discuss the implementation of the registration of Sikh marriage under the Anand Marriage Act. The Anand Marriage Act was passed in 1909. It is a legal act in India, especially designed for the Sikh community. This act was enacted to provide separate legal recognition for Sikh marriages, distinguishing them from the Hindu marriages. Prior to this act, Sikh marriage were registered under the Hindu Marriage Act. The Sikh community sought distinct recognition of their marriage rituals, particularly the Anand Karaj ceremony. Legal recognition of the Sikh marriage. The Act officially recognized Sikh marriage ceremonies known as the Anand Karaj as a valid form of marriage. Sikh identity. The Act was a step towards recognizing and legitimizing the distinct religious and cultural identity of the Sikh community in India. Registration of the marriage. While the original 909 Act did not especially provide for the registration of the marriage, amendment and legal provisions over the years have facilitated the registration of processes of Sikh marriages under this Act. This evidence legal clarity and security for the couples. Cultural and religious significance. The Act acknowledged the importance of Anand Karaj ceremony, which is central to Sikh matrimonial rituals and reflect the community's unique religious practices. Significance and evolution. The Anand Marriage Act was a landmark legislation for the Sikh community, affirming their distinct religious and cultural identity within the framework of Indian matrimonial laws. Over the years, there have been discussion and demand for amendment to the Act, focusing on clearer legal provisions for issues such as divorce, alimony, and registration processes. This amendment aims to further align the Act with contemporary legal standards while respecting Sikh tradition. Recent implementation. In 2023, the Anand Marriage Act was implemented in Jammu and Kashmir, expanding its reach and ensuring that Sikh marriages in the region are recognized and registered under the Anand Marriage Act. Then, regenerative braking. The regenerative braking device market is projected to experience significant growth between 2024 to 2031, driven by increasing popularity of electric vehicles, e-vehicles. Regenerative braking is a technology using electric and hybrid vehicles to capture the reused energy and would otherwise be lost during the braking when the brake is applied. Normal braking. In traditional vehicles, braking converts the car's kinetic energy into heat, which is then wasted. Regenerative braking. In vehicles with regenerative braking, pressing the brake pedal causes the electric motor to run in reverse. This reverse action slows down the car, similar to traditional brakes. Instead of converting kinetic energy into heat, the motor converts it back into electrical energy. The electrical energy is then stored in the vehicle's battery for later use. Energy conservation and storage. The reverse motor converts the kinetic energy of the moving car into electrical energy. This electrical energy is sent back to the car's battery and stored for future use, such as powering the vehicle or running electrical system. Significance. Energy efficiency. Save energy by reusing it, reducing the need for frequent battery charge. Extend range. Help electric and hybrid vehicle travel further on a single charge. Reduce wear and tear. Reduce wear on traditional brake components, leading to lower maintenance cost. Shortcomings of regenerative braking: incomplete stopping power. Regenerative braking alone often cannot bring a vehicle to a complete stop and must be supplemented by conventional braking system. The hill descent: regenerative brakes may not prevent vehicle from backsliding downhill. That is what is very important. Efficiency at low speed: the efficiency of the energy recovered drops, the vehicle speed decreases. Regenerative brakes are beneficial in stop-start static position. Then the Birmingham International Airport, the Adani Group that Birmingham port is now ready to receive the first mothership about the Birmingham International Port. The port is located in the Birmingham, a coastal town in the Thiruvananthapuram district of Kerala. It was developed by under the landlord model with a public-private partnership component on a design, build, finance, operate, and transfer (DBFOT) basis. It was primarily designed to cater to container transshipment. The port also handles multi-purpose and bulk cargo. It will also be the global bunkering hub, supplying clean green fuels like the hydrogen and ammonia. After completion, the port will be one of the world's greenest port in the world, developed by the Adani Ports. The port is mere 10 nautical miles diversion from the international east-west shipping route connecting Europe and Persian Gulf and the Far East. It is also close to the national and regional road and rail network. The port will feature approximately 30 berths, most of which will be capable of handling mother vessels. Significance of the port is the only transshipment hub in the Indian subcontinent, strategically located close to the international shipping routes and centrally on the Indian coastline. Around 90% of India's foreign trade is conducted via the sea route, accounting for 70% of the trade in value terms. Nearly 30% of the freight movement occurs through the international shipping route south of the Indian peninsula, passing just 10 nautical miles of the Birmingham. Then coming to the question answer discussion, discuss how basic duty of police officers have changed with the new criminal law coming into effect, because the BNSS replaced the CRPC, Criminal Procedure Code. The new criminal law, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, will replace the Indian Penal Code (IPC). The Bharatiya Nagarika Sudhika Sanhita (BNSS) replaced the CRPC. The Bharatiya Sakya Sanhita, which replaced the Evidence Act, Indian Evidence Act, came into effect across India on July 1st. These laws brought significant changes in the country's criminal justice system, replacing the colonial era Indian Penal Code, the 1860, Code of Criminal Procedure 1973, and Indian Evidence Act 1872. Together, these three laws define penal offences, prescribe new processes for investigation and evidence gathering, and govern the trial process in court, fundamentally transforming India's criminal justice jurisprudence. Changes in basic duty of police officer. Rules for registering FIR. The officer in charge is now legally bound to register an FIR regardless of jurisdiction, known as zero FIR under the section 173 of the Bharatiya Nagarika Surakha Sanhita. This can be done electronically, which is to be taken on record by the officer in charge. It is signed within 3 days by the person giving it. Non-registration of FIR may attract penal action under various sections. Electronic information submission and sensitive inquiry. While no one can stop a police officer from inquiring into the information immediately, if it is of a sensitive nature, the electronic mode by which information may be given must be decided by the agency, such as the criminal CCTNS portal and the police website or the official published mail ID. Videography requirement. The BNS Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita mandates videography during search under section 185, the crime scene, and then when taking possession of property. This helps in maintaining evidence integrity and transparency, benefiting both the investigation and the judicial process. Public display of arrested person information. Information about the arrested person, boards including digital mode containing names, addresses, and the nature of the offence, must be put up outside the police station and district control room. Provision of arrest. Section 37 of the BNSS require a police officer in every police station, not below the rank of assistant sub-inspector, to be responsible for maintaining and prominently displaying information about the arrested persons. Restrictions are placed on the arrest of elderly and infirm individuals, requiring permission from the DSP level officer for arrest in minor offences. This ensures human treatment of suspect and transparency in custodial processes. Timeline for medical examination and investigation. Medical reports for the rape victims must be forwarded to the investigating officer within 7 days under section 184(6) of the VNSS. The POCSO Act cases must be investigated within 2 months. These timelines expedite the judicial processes and ensure timely justice for the victims. And then handling of the electronic device. Section 193 3H requires maintaining a sequence of custody for electronic device and informing the investigation process within 90 days to the informant or victim. This emphasizes the integrity and careful handling of electronic evidence, crucial in modern investigation. Then Terrorist Act, Section 113 defines Terrorist Act and mandates that the decision to register such case be made by an officer of SP rank or higher. This ensures that cases related to terrorism are handled with the necessary expertise and scrutiny by the higher authority. Issue and solution. Resource limitation. Many police stations may lack the necessary technological resources for mandatory videography and handling electronic evidence. Government funding and infrastructure development to equip police stations with the required technology. Training needs. Police officer may need adequate training to handle new procedure and electronic devices. Regular training program and workshop to enhance the skill of the police officers in line with new law. Administrative burden. New rules may increase the administrative burden on police officers, affecting their efficiency. Streamlining procedure and recruiting additional administrative staff to assist in non-core tasks. Then uniform implementation. There might be inconsistency in the implementation of the new law across different regions. Strict monitoring and evaluation mechanism to ensure uniform implementation and adherence to the new law. The new criminal law mark a significant shift in the duties of police officers in India, aiming to enhance transparency, accountability and efficiency in law enforcement. While the new provisions, after substantial improvement, addressing the accompanying challenges through adequate resources allocation, training and monitoring will be crucial to achieving the intended benefits. As these changes take effect, continuous evaluation and adjustment will ensure that the police officer is well equipped to uphold justice in a rapidly evolving legal landscape. Then come to the MCQ. Consider the following statement regarding the criteria for deciding a language as a classical language. The language should have a history of early text or recorded history spanning 1500 to 1000 years, right? So it should possess a body of ancient literature and text considered valuable by generation of speakers, right? The literacy tradition must be original, not borrowed from another such community, right? The language and its literature should be identical to their modern terms, no. So only 1, 2, 3 are correct. Answer will be B. Consider the following statement regarding the regenerative braking. In regenerative braking, mechanical energy converted to electrical energy to charge the battery, right? Regenerative braking eliminates the need for conventional hydraulic braking system in vehicles. Here only 1 is correct but 2 is incorrect. Consider the following statement regarding the National Security Advisor NSA. NSA regularly advise the Prime Minister on matters related to both internal and external threat and opportunity for India. That's right. The post of NSA was first filled by Prime Minister Dr. Vajpayee in 1998. That's also right. Both 1 and 2 are correct. Consider the following statement. Prithvi Air Defense is an anti-ballistic missile developed by India. The pad successfully intercepted a ballistic missile targeted in its first test. Here both 1 and 2 are correct. Consider the following statement about the People's Biodiversity Register. It is prepared by the forest guards in consultation with the local community. That's incorrect. It is aimed to document and preserve India's rich biological diversity. 2 is correct, but 1 is incorrect. Consider the following statement about the balance of payment. A surplus in the balance of payment indicates that a country's total receipt from foreign transactions exceeds its total payment to foreign entities. That is right. The BOP must always be balanced with the sum of recurrent account and the capital account equaling 0. This is incorrect. Only 1 is correct. That is A. Consider the following statement. High antiquity of early text over 1500 to 2000 years old. A body of ancient literature considered valuable heritage. A literary tradition must be original and not borrowed. The language must have at least 10 million native speakers. So here only 3. Last one is not correct. Only 1, 2, 3 are correct. Consider the following statement. National Quantum Mission aims to accelerate quantum technology-led economic growth and innovation. High quality polished gold is crucial for quantum research. So here only 1 is correct. Consider the following statement regarding the Bharatiya Nagarika Suraksha Samhita. Under the BNSS, officer in charge of police station cannot refuse to register FIR on the basis of lack of jurisdiction. The BNSS mandate videography during search conducted by the right. The terrorist has been identified by the BNSS, so 2 and 3 are correct, only 2 are correct. The primary function of a regenerative braking system in electrical vehicles is to convert kinetic energy to electrical energy. B is the right answer. Thank you for watching. Keep watching regular to update yourself. Thank you all.